Um, so I making this video, which is a video that sounds familiar, and it's going to continue to sound familiar because they're pretty systematic. I've been saying the same thing for a long time. This is a video that can be looked back from since 2020. Right? I've been saying that they've changed things. Have the ability to change memories. These people have no problem creating false memory. Right, 2 seconds ago, it's funny. They just kind of create something. Not didn't create. Sorry, they tried to make it hard for me. They made me think of some random thing just to show that, oh, you see, we know this, so we're not falsifying the memories. The truth is, the only way they're able to manipulate memory is because they have access to your memory. That's how they're able to do it. So they have the ability and they to see the real thing and then change it into different versions. That's what they do, and that's what they've been doing for a long time. In my 2020 video, I say how they have obviously the ability to actually get your memory, but what they do is they create a new version of it. It's part of that. It's part of what they do. As I'm saying that, you can hear the noise campaign. They try to bang, bang. Like it's all like dramatics for you to accept this bullshit, to accept this BS. Sorry, that's what they do. So when they do this thing where randomly just say this name, it's because they want you to see. I mean, we know you. Of course you do. That's the thing I'm saying is not only you do, you are manipulating into a different version. That's what you do. you know and they use these childlike people that don't understand what that means. You obviously can manipulate my memories, but to manipulate my memories, you have to be able to acquire my memories, and so you have complete ability to go through my memories. But what you do with my memories is to change them into the version you want, to make your fantasy, and then you try to gaslight me to accept this false memory. That's what they do. Today they did another thing. I'm a trillion percent sure it's their false memory. I don't have doubts, right? I have no doubts. They play this, they act a certain ways to try to get you to accept this thing. We got this. Like it's just so like it's BS of the BS. They've done this thing 100 times. It's obvious they just play this fantasy like this. They act a certain way. Like it's like, oh, we're so oh my gosh, and then one and then walked away and then just walk away with some. It's just like some weird theatric thing. It's yes, you are manipulating this memory, and there's no doubt. I have zero doubt. So this is a memory they manipulate, right? And they change it to a different version. I came to New York, not too long ago. Coming from another place. I remember coming to New York. It was a time where I was feeling very. It was a toxic time in my life. I was being targeted, but I didn't know it was that, right? But the worst part was I was getting targeted by my own family member, people I knew, people I care for, people I actually loved. So it was more toxic than anything else. So I came to New York, man. It felt great, to be honest. I think if I would stay where I was, I probably would not be alive. And not because of the torture, but because mentally, I was breaking down big time. Here I'm being broken down, but I can see it. I know this is not my doing. Somebody is literally manipulating me and try to accept this false memory. And I remember coming to New York and loving New York, even though there were people acting kind of bizarre. But I was like, hey, this is New York. One thing I noticed, I remember going to this coffee shop, right? And I felt like the way I was thinking, right? Maybe it was a little naive. Is like I'm gonna come to this place. I'm gonna have my like local place to get my coffee and this and that. That'll be my spot to get coffee. That'll be my spot to do this thing. And so there's one little spot where it was like a Hispanic spot. And I remember going in there and being super like I don't know if it's the word like happy go lucky, like super excited, And I'll be like, yeah, can I get this? And I'll be super friendly, yeah, try to be like super like nice in a sense because I was like, I'm gonna come back here and I want to be like the nice guy who comes here and I have everybody knows me. I can come and everybody like maybe make a friend, like no, something of that nature. And so they're trying to change this because the cafe, the people serving, it's young that you don't even tell, can tell exactly, like, like, I don't know if it's late teen or early 20s or something. Typical people who serve coffee, or like, it's just that. But obviously I didn't feel any, like, I was not trying, I was not even like, I wasn't interested in this way, but I was interested to be like liked in the sense that I wanted to come back here, and people like me in the sense of, like, the shop owners, or the coffee shop person, so I can come back. So the way they've changed this memory is interesting. They almost felt like it was real. But if I didn't know, like, if I wasn't strong in regarding of what I wanted when I came to New York, I could have gone with this, because what they're doing is taking something from somewhere else and implanting it in this, and making me, and using a different, like, this in the same kind of atmosphere sense, and try to, like, it's crazy how they overlay these new memories and create you to want to accept these things. So now the new version, right? This is how they've created this new version. Mind you, they obviously have access to your real memories, but now they can override this memory with something else. This is technology that is insane, that can change your memory and make you really think that this memory is a true memory. It's insane. And then with time, it's getting worse and worse, because you're losing yourself even more. And so you're gaining more of their ways of thinking. But you have to accept this. Like, it's just like you have no control over it. You have no control over it. You can control, like, it's going, this memory is going to go the way they want it. There's no need to battle back and forth. I can't experience it the same way. This is how it's going to go from this point on. The neighbors are going to do their best to make you accept these things as if it's you. The perps. I know it's falsified. So you understand, they want me to accept this persona they've created, this pedophilia, pedophile persona. Now, this coffee shop people, like, I don't know, they can make me believe any age at this point. Like, especially at that, like, they work at coffee shop. Sometimes you see some young people that could be high schooler, that could be college students, that could be, young adults. That's that, you don't know, right? And so they can make me imagine whatever, but they want me to make it sound like I hit it on them, like I was like hitting on them. And what they're doing, they're saying, and the reason why they're doing this is because when I was in college, I was a little bit of a cheeky guy that tried to be flirty every once in a while. Never worked out. And I remember being in college, or around college years, going to a coffee shop and try to be smart and, like, try to be cheeky and flirt. It's like, oh, what I want is not really on the menu. It's like really immature things, right? Never worked out ever. Never. It was bad. It was bad. It was not funny. Like, it didn't even, like, it didn't get any response. Usually it was just never gonna work, right? Never gonna work like that. And so what they're doing is taking this moment and adding it to me here coming to New York and going to the coffee shop. Everything feels so it's really it. Like, it really happened this way. I know it's falsified because in my mind I remember my state of mind. I remember the excitement of trying to be like having some a place where I can have my own, like, and start a new life where I have a new little place to get my coffee. I can go grab, like, having, like, a little network of places I can go, and then they know me, like, this kind of things. So all of that, and I remember something that's stay with me is because I was always trying to, like, be nice and friendly, but the reactions were like, and I was like, oh man, I guess it's New Yorkers are they're very, like, rude. Why not? So you understand they're trying to change that to something else, and as I'm saying that, perps are on it, just ready to counter that. They're like, they come in when you fake laughing and all that, whatever they can to manipulate, and they use this tone of voice. It's like, oh yeah, ha ha ha. Like, it's super obvious. So they want you now to imagine me having that moment where, oh, you know what I want is not there. That's the version they want to create, a falsified version, and that's probably why they're laughing. Ha ha ha. Like, please. You just want this memory to have that. But this is something you added to a memory that didn't have that. It's fair because I recognize that. Thankfully, now it just kind of opens my eyes to even more like, oh my gosh, they really can override my memory to that level now. It's not even that long ago. But because when I said that was some kind of like food place, and then like they can really just change things and really want you to accept these things. Of course, it's falsified. I'm 100% sure. I don't have. There's no doubts. But what I'm experiencing, I can tell you that it feels like, and they really want to make me accept these false memories. They've done these things many times. I made this video in 2020 where they literally made something from scratch, from nothing, and it felt super real. I couldn't even believe it was so non-existent. There was nothing behind it. It was not just a twist of a narration. It was not like an added thing. It was just completely changed, completely not even changed, completely invented, and it felt so real. It felt like it was just really. So this 2023, for huh, as much as my brain is ravaged at this point, as much as my memories have been fried up, of course, these memories is something else. So you have these people who are trying to create a false narration. They want you to be a pedophile, but they know you're not. They have the ability to do all these things to your memory. They have the ability to manipulate your memories, and they want to find credibility. Yes, I know this technology, and in my video in 2020, I said that clearly. Of course, they have the ability to get into your memories. How are they able to change a memory if they can't get into your memories? And then every once in a while, they drop some random things. Oh, you see, you know, that's like, yeah, yes, of course, I know you know you have my memories. You're changing them. And I'm calling out on special, like, and it's crazy because I know for a fact, it's no doubt. You're going to do something else. You're going to change another memory. And they're going to try to make you accept this. In my mind, they're having, oh, how come? Oh, please, you guys do the perfect type of torture. I can, listen, watch how things can go, right? And how, like, this technology, this is a 2007 testimony of somebody who's in Lithuania, right? As I said, that they're going to go into something they've manipulated. And listen to this testimony of this man in 2007 in Lithuania, who is one of the target individual who gave his testimonies in 2007, right? And he described what's happening to him, and there was many others of the of target individual who spoke about, you know, what's happening to them. So I'm pulling that part, and you understand that these people ability to manipulate your thoughts is to another level. Used to manipulate and fabricate the process with weapons that can be used to manipulate and fabricate the processes in your psyche. From what I have experienced, they are able to impose any information on the brain of a person, presumably by some kind of waves, which in the mind take the form of voices, thoughts, and images in imagination. In addition to this kind of implanting information that they need, they manipulate the psyche so that the information is written into your memory. Then by stimulating the certain regions in the brain, they can retrieve this information and present it as your own memory. This is this is a random, like it's obvious. They've done, I mean, if today you go to my memory specific into my 2020 video, it's almost 3 years ago. You hear this me talking about how to change memories and my fabricate memories. I've said it almost 3 years ago. So there's no doubt, and they try to use fear as a way to make you accept this, making noise campaign on the bikes, making, you know, say that, oh, they believe us, so they, you know, listen, you guys are filled with pedophiles. I mean, let's remember what theme or what tactics they've been using. So you tell me, people who use this pedophilia type of tormenting.
The nature of the torture I have been experiencing has been highly sexual in nature and highly perverted, involving many combinations. Also manipulated my computer and other electronics in various ways so that I know they are able to manipulate anything electronic. They have even locked me out of my office building that use etc. Feces, urine, and sensation, so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of plant.
These people do the pedophilia type of torture. They're. I'm gonna continuously put this thing.
I don't know what the fuck they are. Count so much and make it so dramatic. It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. It's disgusting, disgusting.
Into human will. In no-touch torture, the techniques are more psychologically specialized for each target. Most common examples include homosexual targets that are forced with voices that are derogatory to their lifestyle and similar mental images. Almost all targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds.
It doesn't end here. At this point, they're gonna have to dumb themselves even more. But listen to this.
Because one main thing this program is out there is called behavior modification for the undesirable, and that's one of the excuses this groups give for the strange. And then afterwards that strange sensation continue. Then in that moment I realized that was impost. So I thought, look at this losers, don't know how to put me down, and they are doing this. So I told them that I know what you are trying to do, and I started laughing. And then I said again out loud, you'll never take my will, ass. So just to show them that I meant what I said, I kept playing with my dog, and even though that attacks continue, I don't let them get me. Today they continue with the programming of perversion, but this time they are aiming in the use of people, better said young people, also children and homosexuals. When I aggravated them I usually called demeaning names, and one of them is referring to homosexuals. For me all of this slaves are misfits, society haters, scumbags etc. No, I don't have anything personal against them, homosexuals, but as my way to aggravated the slaves, and since they love to use children for the torture and stalking, street theater etc. Especially teenagers for the stalking at close range with an attitude, they are using them during my sleep in the perversion program, and so you can imagine what the
You understand? There is a strategy here, and these people have control of your your body, your mind, your memories, and I'm creating these things to create a narrative that's bullshit. And they try to gaslight you into accepting. Oh, you did this. No, that's a false. That's false memory. I know when you I did this, you try to implant it in this memory in this moment. Yes, I know fully that you can go into any memories and do whatever you want. You can change it. You can manipulate it. You can make it feel like this. Yes, you're beyond going to memory. You manipulate them. This is not this testimony was in 2007. You tell me since 2007 this thing has even got better. This man who says that they implant information and drive it back and bring it back up as if it's a memory. Basically, they implant whatever imagination or whatever, make it feel like it's in memory, and present it as like it's a memory. They have the ability to make you think that what you experienced or what this is a memory. Make it feel like this to you. It's a memory. And if they're able to do it, in my mind, they try to change the narrative of what he said because they say, oh no, you would just create it. And then no. They literally make him feel like it comes out like as if it's a memory, according to this person. So what does it mean? So me, when they do something so obvious, and they've done it like many times where there's obvious false memory, like this one is a false memory for sure, but it's amazing how, oh my gosh, it's going in like that. It's truly going in like that. Like it's really happened. Like it really did happen. And the thing I used to mistake is try to have this like back and forth, but there's no way I can take control my brain. It's gonna experience this that did not happen. And they do the noise campaign, they're gonna do everything to tell you how all the horrible things you're gonna experience. And it's gonna be horrible. It's gonna be horrible. But I'd rather die in this horrible way than having to live this life. The way they've acted, the way they just the gimmicks they have to create, right? I can't believe where they find the strength to not find this humiliating. Like it truly, I almost like wow. I'll give you the level of you have one shameless human. And the actor is like, oh, and that, and then oh my, and it's so obvious too. And they use the ministering voice and that. Like, oh my gosh, I don't know. Like I will die from embarrassment. And now you're like, you guys gonna fake this memory. You're gonna think I'm gonna subscribe to that. You're gonna act accordingly. They're in the hallway running around and making noise campaign to try to get me to accept this. They know I'm not subscribing. And they're like, they call me Robert for R. Kelly. And there's somebody they can't say, and for a purpose.
And don't forget, he did. But hear the sleigh bells tingling, ring, tingling, too. It wasn't just the mall, folks. One Alabama journalist claims that Moore was also banned from the YMCA for his inappropriate behavior of soliciting sex from young girls. And don't forget, he did that while he was assistant DA.
They can't say the name of this man, so they make me imagine what he did. So now I have this memory where they make me imagine this thing that's nonsensical, that's not true. And how they did this is by taking something that happened in my younger days and then plant this in this moment. And now it's that. And it feels like, oh my gosh, it does feel like it feels like it's a true memory. Of course I know it's false. It's like, no, it happened. It happened. No, I know it didn't. I don't even have doubt, zero doubt. And they're making me imagine it in so many ways. In so many ways, they try to like. It's just crazy. I'm so sure. It's not even a doubt. I have no. I have 0% doubt. 0% doubt that it's a false memory. But the way it's in my head is incredibly unbelievable. It's crazy. I can't believe it. But they're gonna do what they do. They're gonna try to make me subscribe to it. They tell me I'm gonna get knocked out because apparently this is a true memory. I should accept that because I'm gonna get knocked out. I will never. False memory. You're gonna continue to create your stories. You're gonna continue to add things to it. This is these people. They have no shame. They're gonna create things that non-existent, like this memory, where they make me imagine this. And they go into the high school. Just nonsensicalness. To all my target individual, if you don't listen, if you know, you, this is not the first time I talked about memory manipulation. They're gonna continue. You hear me coming up and say something about another memory. They are literally looking at moments where they can manipulate and change into something else to create a persona, falsify whatever they can, finding what they can change into something else, manipulate to something else, create a new narrative, and they people around me are gonna act accordingly. Oh my gosh! Oh yeah! Now people like even in my mind, they're making me anxious at this moment. That's not what they're trying to create. If anything, is some a moment that I was trying to be like a friendly, nice person, and they have to add this thing of like try to flirt with her, when in reality I was just it was none of that that they create. They have no shame. They're gonna try to change things in other ways, and you gotta be strong. You gotta be strong. because they have no shame. They have zero shame. Trying to try to change things in other ways. At first it was at least at first what they try to do is add sensation stimulation, which will falsify, but at least that sensation stimulation, that's the like it's not the crazy. I know it's falsified, but then creating this story, oh my gosh, it's like, oh my, these people have no shame. The stimulation, the sensation is fake. Of course, I don't have that, but at least like you can be like, oh, but how like you don't remember, you weren't like like. But when you start doing like create this thing where if you start making me imagine that like this is the BS stuff that you just created, taking it from me when I was in college or something and putting in this moment. Delusional. And you heard some people in the hallways like, now I'm gonna fear because they're gonna frame me. You understand the retardation? The people in your brain that can do all kind of manipulation tell you they're gonna frame you. You understand how that looks like, right? It means that they're gonna do some BS. They're gonna make you subscribe to things that aren't true, and they're gonna do the gimmicks and try to sound angry. Oh, you pay. Oh, now you fear it. Oh, that's a false memory. I'm not this robber or this Roy, but you want me to be because that's your job. Well, you work for actual pedophiles. Don't forget.
Why not have it all? Meet Kajava. Department of Defense acknowledged that dozens of Pentagon staff members or contractors had such images. In 2014, the Inspector General of the Intelligence Community found that two officials from the National Reconnaissance Office, which oversees America's spy satellites, acknowledged viewing images of child sexual abuse during polygraph examinations. This is so disturbing. At a symposium in 2016, Daniel Payne, a top Pentagon security official, said that when workers' computers were examined, the amount of child porn I see is just unbelievable. Is this something that is happening for whatever reason with more frequency in our intelligence agencies, or is this something that is more pervasive in the general population than I originally realized? I mean, what's going on here? This is Look, so bizarre, remember, so evil. Ali, we're told, and when I was put through recruitment into the intel community, you're put through polygraphs, you're put through a rigorous selection process. Why aren't these people weeded out? Why are so many pedophiles allowed to be given top level security clearance? Remember, these aren't just people walking in off the street and saying, hey, can I get hired? Can I get a job? You're put through an extremely rigorous background check screening process. It's called an SSBI, single scope background investigation. There are people, they interview you, they interview your family, they interview your contacts, they go through your online footprint, they go through everything. So why is it that when they're going through these footprints, they're not checking, these digital footprints, they're not checking for so many pedophiles getting through their ranks? If it were up to me, you need to go into Congress, and Congress needs to launch a brand new church committee, number one, to talk about domestic surveillance operations, but number two, to ask the question, why are there so many pedophiles sitting behind those computer screens within the walls of Langley, within the Pentagon, and throughout the broader intelligence community?
My point is, these are the people in my head. They were like, like, cause they try to make it seem like, oh, that was funny, and they do that all the time because there's one time when I made a joke to make fun of my friend, and they like to say, oh, ha ha ha, funny. I was like, okay, and they're just like, oh, ha, ha, you said, no, I know this is a falsified memory, but I did say that when I was younger in college, and now you're trying to create these memories now, or not now, but when I was in New York, to create this BS, which is false. It's a false memory. I know. I have no doubt, zero doubt. But I'm never gonna experience my memory as what it was. And these perps, this woman called this really trash, are supposed to make you accept these things, and they do clown like activities. Ha ha ha! Yeah, okay, yes, it's not you. Yeah, yes, I know. You're forcing this. You're forcing this false memory. That's not what happened, but I know that you got it from me when I was younger in college, and now you want me to experience that here to create your false narrative. I'm not gonna let you live your fantasy. So I'm saying that they tell me how full they are because they ate well in the stomach and they can digest things properly. They tell me how sorry, I think they say it won't, which means it won't, what they did to me or whatever they involve themselves in, it won't come back to them. Of course it will. And I gotta be strong to understand that when they have this falsified memory and they create this moment, I didn't have that for sure. But they can make me feel like it's really real. And it feels like, like, but I know it's falsified. It's a weird feeling, especially when they do this to a super obvious moment that it didn't happen. It's so weird because it's like, oh my gosh, this is how much overriding of my memories you're capable of doing. Jeez, like what's gonna happen like it's scary. There's no doubt. Like I don't even like it's just incredible to know that there's such a falsified memory in that sense, but still experience it this way. So to all my target individual, do not subscribe to this nonsensicalness. Do not. False memory will be used to try to rewire you, will write who you are, change you. They're creating a persona, and they have the ability to take over your memories and change them into something else. So as they're ratting me, as they say, I'd rather be ratting than be ratting. I'd rather be ratting than ratting. I'd rather die this way than live in a nasty way like there's like a ratting thing that they are. I will never subscribe to this. False memory, once again, they're gonna come with their all the different clown ways of making me subscribe, haha, and they make me think. Or remember when we say haha before? Yes, you were saying haha when I was making when the joke that I made to make fun of my friend. Yes, I know. They have no shame, no shame. So don't subscribe to this false memory. They're gonna have the noise campaign. Know yourself, and don't subscribe. The memories is for them to play with. So, thank you, God. However, I end up looking, I just want to thank you that I didn't have to live the life of this indignified trash. I died with sufferance and pain, but did not live like them.